What's going on, everyone? Today I am talking about my history with Newgrounds.com. For those of you that don't know, Newgrounds has been on the internet for over 20 years, since 1995. It's a website where you can watch videos like animations, users can upload games and you can play them on there. It's famous for its Flash animations and Flash games. I'm sure most of you know about this website. I've been getting comments from some of you asking me to make more gaming memory videos. I'm thinking of some topics and writing them down, and I'm also working on some other videos. Unfortunately, they're taking longer than I expected. I haven't had much time for videos lately, but in the meantime, I thought I would upload this video to talk about one of my earliest internet memories. So just sit back and enjoy the story. Let's go back to the year 2000. I was just a kid. I was about 7 years old, an innocent little rascal. This was before I evolved into the cynical, charming, degenerate you know and love today. Thinking about the year 2000, I didn't know anyone with an internet connection. I didn't even know what the internet was. I was a kid. Nowadays, it's so easy to get internet. You can get it on your tablet, your phone, a watch. You can steal it from your local McDonald's. You can steal it from your neighbors. It's just a common thing, but back in the day, it was kind of a big deal, at least in my area. In late 2000, my uncle got internet, and I was introduced to the World Wide Web. He would babysit me and my brother sometimes, and every time I was over his house, he would be on this website just looking up stuff every now and then, and one of the websites was Newgrounds.com. The first video I saw on the internet was a video I saw on Newgrounds, Exile number 3. Exile is a series where a bunch of stick figures are fighting. It's like a martial arts movie brought to stick figure animation, but the animation is very fluid, it's very smooth, and they're just beating the shit out of each other. They're using nunchucks and weapons like swords, they use guns, and they're just fighting. It's like 2 or 3 minutes of them beating the shit out of each other, and till this day I still like watching Exile, even though it's been like 15 years since I seen it. It's pretty awesome to look at. Just look at this animation. They're beating the shit out of each other. It's like the best martial arts movie brought to stick figure form. So that was really cool looking at that. I was shocked. I was like a little kid, like 7 or 8 years old, and I'm looking at this like, holy shit, this is so fucking cool. This is the best thing ever. And from that point on, every time I was over his house, I kept bugging him to show me more videos, and he did. He showed me some other stuff too. It wasn't all violent stick figure action. He showed me video game parodies. I remember one that was called The Last Metroid. It came out back in 2000 and it was rated T. It wasn't that bad. I don't think he did a bad job babysitting me. Some moral people, they might be like, well, why are you looking at violent stick figure fights when you're like 8 years old? Think about this. It's the same thing that you see on children's cartoons. They beat the shit out of each other in children's cartoons. It's not going to affect you unless you're some crazy fucking lunatic that should be locked up in a mental asylum. It shouldn't affect you, and at that point, anything can tick you off if you're a fucking lunatic. It wasn't that bad. I had an awesome childhood. Now, let's fast forward to 2006. My house had internet and a computer. We had internet at that point for 2 or 3 years. My brother is a couple of years older than me, so my mom puts him in charge of making sure that I'm not destroying the computer by getting viruses or accidentally talking to pedophiles, but other than that, I could do whatever the hell I want. And yes, that means discovering the glorious thing that we call porn. Yes, a lot of porn. And trying not to download a whole bunch of stuff and get viruses. I wasn't on the computer that much. I played a lot of Morrowind. I've been playing it on and off at that point for 3 years. And I went on Newgrounds a lot too, but I didn't really use the computer that much. So I made the most of my limited time on the computer, and I discovered a lot of great animation, a lot of great games, and just an awesome community on Newgrounds.com. I'll say this about the Newgrounds community. It's full of friendly assholes. It was definitely the best community that I saw at the time. I remember around that time that I joined Newgrounds and made my own account. I was a part of another website. Well, I wasn't really a part of. I joined a forum and I was just trying to look for some tips on a video game. I can't remember which one. And someone sent me a link and I thought this link was going to give me video game cheats, but no. It was some guy getting fucked by a horse, so that fucking scarred me for life. Newgrounds was an internet safe haven for me. I loved the community on there. We talked about video games, Flash animations, giving tips, talking about hobbies, stuff like that. I became involved in the community. I would go to school, hang out with my friends, go to practice, things like that. Then I would go home, and the limited time that I had on the internet, I would spend playing some computer games, going on some websites, but mainly being on Newgrounds and just being in the community. Funny thing I have to tell you, Newgrounds.com, some of the people on the forums taught me how to troll, and I'm going to tell you that story. This was back in 2008. I was already a teenager. I was dating, playing sports, just doing what teens do. And I went on the forum one day. Someone wanted to troll Stormfront.com. So me and a couple of other people on Newgrounds, we made accounts on Stormfront. If you don't know what Stormfront is, it's a neo-Nazi website, white supremacist, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Just a bunch of weird motherfuckers on there. And no, I'm not singling out white people. I know what some of you are gonna fucking say. Oh, why don't you say something about black supremacists? Yeah, fuck them too. This is relevant to the story. Me and a couple of other people on Newgrounds, we went on Stormfront and we started making threads. I remember I made a thread and the title was, I'm a minority and I'm dating a white chick. And in that thread, I was just talking a whole bunch of shit. I was telling them, yeah, I'm dating a white chick and I'm probably gonna marry her in 10 years. We might get pregnant. We're gonna have kids. What the fuck are any of you gonna do about it? Just deal with it, bitch. Some of the people on that forum went nuts. We got so many death threats. There were people telling us we're gonna get set on fire, they're gonna kill us, they're gonna put a bullet in our head. If I was right next to you, I'd beat the shit out of you, nigger, and shit like that. You spick, how dare you, you fucking Hispanic spick, because I told them I was Hispanic. I told them I was a Cuban American, and they're making fun of me. You boat hopper, I'd kick you and drown you and stuff like that. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. I loved it, and we just had a good time. We were PMing each other, laughing at all the death threats we were getting. Oh man, there's something funny about pissing people off, especially fucking idiots. It's really satisfying. Oh man, I got so many fucking death threats. Oh fuck, yo, I might do that again. Hey, actually I do. I might do that again, but I won't tell anyone when I do it. It'll be random. Alright, back to Newgrounds. Going on the website today and looking at older animations or games from 10 or 15 years ago, it may not seem impressive, but to me, it still has a certain charm. I think there's a lot of talented people that posted their works on Newgrounds, whether it's art, videos, or games. I remember looking at animations from 2001 like Joe Zombie, and even till this day, I'm still impressed by it. Yeah, it may seem low quality, the voice acting isn't that great, and the animation, but still, for one or two people to do that, or a small team at that time, especially at that time, it's impressive. I mentioned Joe Zombie. It's one of my favorite internet videos. I remember watching the first episode back in 2004. Joe Zombie is about a zombie, a damn near invincible zombie. His grave gets disturbed, so he comes out of it and he just starts fucking people up. The military can't handle him. Innocent civilians are dying. He's dodging bullets like it's the Matrix. He's jumping on buildings. He can drive cars, play the radio. It's just an unstoppable zombie. And it really creeped me out when I was younger because it was a green zombie with a couple of lines on his face, but it was just very fucking creepy. And I remember I was sleeping over a friend's house when I was younger, and I showed him that video late at night, and it creeped us out. Newgrounds has a lot of talented people on it. You should check it out. I know that it's going to get dismissed as just internet animators or people that are just amateur or whatever, but there's a lot of enjoyable things on there. If you played Alien Hamid or Castle Crashers, guess where it came from? Newgrounds. There's a bunch of talented people on there, and some of them moved on to greater things, having big YouTube channels or just moving on to other stuff, and I'm happy to see that. Now I'm going to name some of my favorite games and videos on Newgrounds cause I want to go down memory lane. First off, Disorderly. Disorderly is a game where you're some crazy guy that works at an old folks home, and it kinda has some like leveling up elements, but you go around beating old people up. That's right, it's pretty offensive because you're just running around beating the shit out of old people and they're trying to fight back. Some people are trying to hit you with their walking sticks. You just beat up old people, get stronger, and get a blowjob from a nurse. It's hilarious. Next game, Samurai Asshole. This was one of the first Flash games I've ever played. It's a game where you're a samurai and, just like the title says, you're being an asshole. You're being a prick for no reason. The game first appeared on Newgrounds in 1999. It hasn't aged well, but it's almost 20 years old. What do you expect for an internet Flash game? All you do is kill enemies and chop their heads off for no reason. Your character is the bad guy, so that's Samurai Asshole. Next up, Madness. Madness is a series of videos where these things that look like bobbleheads with lines on them, they start fighting, they're using different weapons, they're killing each other. It's fast, you have to pay attention because there's a lot of action going on the screen. It's a bunch of videos though. It got so popular that it even has its own day on Newgrounds. That's how popular it is. There's a bunch of videos, there's a bunch of tributes, there's some awesome games. If you want to get into Madness, the first video I recommend is Madness Avenger. It was the first Madness video I watched, and it's crazy. You have Jesus turning people into zombies and all this action going on. The Madness series, it's fun, there's a lot of action going on, and the videos are not that long, so it's very easy to get into. I recommend checking it out. The next series I recommend is Mystic Island. Mystic Island is about a person that's stranded on an island with other people. The problem is, one of these people is a serial killer, and he's crazy, he's psychotic, he keeps killing other people on the island, so everyone else, they have to survive. This fucking lunatic, he's just running around killing people like it's nothing. The first episode, he literally carved somebody up like a pumpkin. It's crazy. The next series I recommend, Tankmen. Tankmen is about a group of tankmen, and it shows their crazy, bizarre adventures. They're a bunch of fucking idiots, and as the description says, they're all we have left. So unfortunately, that's what we have to put up with, just these tankmen. And if you see the Newgrounds logo, you know what I'm talking about. That's what it's based off of. I could go on all day about awesome videos and games that I found on Newgrounds, like Pico School, Johnny Rocket Fingers, A Small Favor, the Awesome series. I think some of you know that. Egoraptor made it. When it comes to the internet, I will always have a soft spot for Newgrounds. It's a hub where a bunch of creative people uploaded great things, and it gave a lot of people exposure. Some creators moved on to bigger platforms like YouTube. Others, they're not around anymore, but no matter what happens, their creations will always be on Newgrounds and spread out throughout the internet. Way before I started to upload YouTube videos, I wanted to make Flash videos. This was like 8 years ago. I remember I sat down and I was going to be a Flash animator or whatever the hell you call it. I was going to upload videos to Newgrounds, make a series and possibly some games, and become known throughout the internet. I had the video idea written down. It was about one of my UFO sightings, and I'll show you a picture of my UFO drawing. This is a UFO that I saw when I was 16 or 17. Yeah, you can laugh, but I swear I fucking saw it. I was gonna make a series about a guy that saw a UFO and how it affects him, and also the UFO keeps chasing after him, so he has to deal with that, but it never happened. I got lazy. Anyway, thank you for watching another episode. Let me know what you think about this. If you want to leave a comment, go ahead. If you don't, that's up to you. You know how to get into contact with me. Have a great day.